Okay.
All right. So, geez.
Action.
So I didn't have to. I didn't have to
No
confess that I
worries.
picked my nose, and I could have gotten away with it,
We
huh?
all knew that's what you were doing anyway.
Okay. Well, so we're working on bringing more than simply, a few static video shots, right? I
Correct.
mean, it's more exciting than just the audio, but don't we're not going to have pornography or anything like that. Don't but we could have more imaginative things than just photographs or video live video of the people whose voices you can't connect with a face.
What do you have in mind?
Nothing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you guys, I'm getting too old to be creative. I really am. I want to hand the torch over to you guys, you know? And don't, you're up for it, aren't you?
I'm down,
You're
as we
down.
say. Yes.
That's a that's a good thing to be down, right? In
Yep,
my
yep.
in my time, I'm down. I'm down. I'm really down. Like that Beatles song. You tell lies thinking I can't see. You can't cry because you're laughing at me. I'm down. I'm really down. It's like a depression, but it's come
Right.
to mean something else
Or
now, is
like,
what you're
don't
saying.
let me down. But right now, actually, speaking of creative, non-static shots of the people that are on the air, I'm looking at a beautiful shot of a live view of the Pacific Ocean where it meets the
K-
continent here in front of the.
KSCO Beach.
That's right, out in the backyard practically.
Pretty cool.
Very cool.
All right. So here's a question. Are there lots and lots and lots of people who take advantage of our video component,
Every
or not too many?
once in a while, we get a spike, I would say. Other than that, it's been steadily rising from, well, very slowly but steadily rising.
Well, okay, because I have this crazy idea that we've registered the web name kscosf.com.
Okay.
Okay, with the whole idea of bringing the independent, KSCO media into the Bay Area, because Lord knows none of the corporate media that own any of the radio channels are doing it.
I
They're
saw a
just doing
tower going out on a truck just a couple days ago. Do
yeah.
you know anything about that?
Going where? Which
A
direction?
couple of towers, I think, going up yonder toward the mountains.
Oh, oh,
Were you aware
from
of this?
here?
Yeah, from here.
Okay, yes.
Uh-huh.
You know what's okay. I guess I can reveal what's going on.
Can we? Can you?
Yeah.
Awesome. I don't even really know much about it.
Okay. Well, we're going to be signing, if all goes as planned and goes well in the next few days. KSCO will be appearing on not one but two more FM frequencies. Okay, we've already, for since August of 2015, been on the air on FM 104.1, receivable very well, I'm told, throughout Santa Cruz County, but not too much outside of Santa Cruz County. Now, these other two channels will bring us into Silicon Valley.
Nice. You
That's
heard it
what the
here.
engineers told
You heard
me.
it
Okay,
right here,
you'll be
folks.
on FM, and you can already get us in Silicon Valley on AM,
Sure, and online easily.
and online, sure, and anywhere in the world. But I still think there's some value in having an FM frequency carrying KSCO programming, and even more than one. If we had a really strong FM station instead of just a translator, then we wouldn't need multiple frequencies. But again, this week we are scheduled to bring online, not online, but on the air, two more FM frequencies, and I forget what they are, but we'll be announcing them all over the, after we test them. We're probably going to run the initial tests on Tuesday, I think, and we'll drive the signal and see just how far the station will be hearable in actuality, the actual driving test to monitor the signal. We have a theoretical, from the engineering and from the computer, models and so forth. for each of these frequencies. What I think one is going to be 107 point.
9.
Is that what it is? Okay, you know. So what's the other one?
I forget the other one.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, so starting this week, unless there are some terrible glitches or unfortunate circumstances, you're going to be able to tune in KSCO on 2 more FM frequencies, 2 more FM channels. So that should be a really, really good addition to your listenability.
That's
on
great
your
news.
favorite radio station. Yeah, I think so. So and I've got a bunch of topics here to bring up, and
Oh, thank God.
yeah, because we're not going to wing it.
Oh, good.
Okay, but you don't like winging it. You like structure.
Oh, I like structure.
You
I
do?
need the structure on this show.
All right. Well, here's part of the structure.
Good morning, a brighter day is here. Good morning, may we bring you cheer.
We've got time, we've got tunes, we've got time, tunes, and temperature.
Get up and go, it's today you know on KSCO Radio.
May I ask you a personal question, KSCO audience? Do you like that hour 1 jingle? If you're an older person, you probably would, because, you know, it's nostalgic. But if you're a younger person, do you like it, or would you rather we trash the hour 1 intro to the Saturday special jingle and that telephone, thing that you hear for the second hour? What do you think? All right.
Good morning, now stay right here on KSCO Radio.
Okay, let's see. Here's the crossfire. That. I think we should have a little controversy on the Saturday special today, because I don't want to fall asleep, and I've been known to fall asleep when I'm hosting the program, and that's no fun. Have I fallen asleep and snored when I was supposed to be the host?
No, never.
I haven't done that?
Never.
Oh. Someone told me maybe that's just at lectures or movies. I think I have narcolepsy
All the
or
above.
something.
Right.
But yeah, because even if something is phenomenally interesting to me, I fall asleep for the first 20 minutes. But you say it hasn't happened yet on the Saturday special. There's always a first time, right? 479-1080 is the phone number to call. mz@ksco.com is the email to use. And here are some possible topics for the April 29th, 2017 Saturday special. All right? End of free speech. Is the end of free speech in our country at hand because of concerns of violence? Okay, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, there was a big Ann Coulter thing that was supposed to happen at Berkeley, and at the last minute it didn't happen. And I had pretty much forgotten about that on the date, which I think, what was the date? It was Wednesday, I think, that it was supposed to happen. Anyhow, I was over in Berkeley looking for furniture to furnish, and decorate KSCO North, the new KSCO North.
When all of a sudden you came upon a burning couch in the middle of the street.
No, that didn't happen. But for some reason, all the furniture stores are in the East Bay, But I thought it was really strange. It was reminiscent of 1969 when I was a student at UC Berkeley, and I heard all the helicopters and and the riot police and everything back then. Well, there weren't riot police, but there sure were a lot of helicopters. It was very vibrant. I was on Shattuck Avenue. I was looking at one of the furniture stores there. So what's all this noise I'm hearing from the sky? And it just wouldn't go away. And there was more and more and more and more of it. And it was helicopters. And I said, what are these helicopters for? I thought the Ann Coulter thing was canceled. And they said, yeah, but the demonstrations are supposed to go forward. So just in case. Anyhow, an awful lot of money was spent. And it sort of bothers me that this sort of sets a precedent. The Young America Foundation, the group that owns the Reagan Ranch, which I have yet to visit, but I hope sometime during the next few weeks I will take them up on the offer for a tour of that facility. Just in the hills above Santa Barbara. But this Young America Foundation is the group that was the main group besides the college Republicans at the UC Berkeley that were to sponsor this Ann Coulter meeting that didn't happen. And it was going to happen until Young America Foundation pulled out itself. It pulled out its support, and even Ann Coulter herself said, hey, there's no way, if I've lost all support, then I'm not going to go. And she was already in the Bay Area. I understand she did some news feeds from San Francisco. Anyhow, you weren't running the show here, Jason. You weren't the pilot in command like you are now. But back in 2009, I think it was, I had Rosie arranged for Ann Coulter to do a Saturday special with me, so she was on for the better part of an hour. And can you see if you could call that up by Google searching it and
Yeah,
and
I'll
maybe
see
we
what I
can
can
play
do.
a little piece of it, because I remember her saying something like, "You're in the belly of the beast there," and we talked about on that program having her speak before UC Santa Cruz. Do we dare even think about doing such a thing? Because of now it would be cost prohibitive, because they would probably the university and the local police would require reimbursement for all the extra security. What has happened to this country, ladies and gentlemen? I wondered how the end of free speech would happen, if it was going to happen in this country, and now I believe I know. Because if there is a clear and present threat of violence, then that's a pretty compelling reason to cancel a speech that might cause that violence, right? What do you think?
I'm not sure.
What does anybody think about that? Is that as disturbing to you as it is to me? 479-1080 in area code 831, or mz at ksco.com. Let me bring up the email box here and see if anybody's so I can see any emails. All right, end of free speech because of concerns of violence. Okay, that's one possible topic. Sanctuary cities. Are they here to stay because of arrogant, defiant politicians and liberal judges? Our president tried to keep his promise about getting rid of sanctuary cities by starving them financially. And governors like our own Governor Jerry Brown have stood up to the president and said, bleep you, how dare you? We are not only going to continue to be sanctuary cities, you're going to keep sending us the money that you've always sent us. We don't believe in your empty threat. And by the way, here's a judge to validate this. Yeah, sanctuary cities, I'm afraid, are here to stay, and I can't believe that that you can have laws that are on the books and have been, and haven't been enforced for probably 3 or more decades. Hell, even my favorite president to date, Ronald Reagan, is guilty of pandering to illegal immigrations, because in fact he's the first one who actually put in amnesty, as I recall. Am I right about that? 479-1080 in area 831, or mz at ksco.com. Yesterday on Flight 1080, it was a pretty lively program, and they were talking about a guy who had put out an apartment for rent, and like so many places, he got just a huge number of applicants for the apartment, and decided to raise the price of the apartment, and that caused a big uproar. And I heard them talking about this. I happened to be at the radio station. I walked into the control room and sat down and joined the conversation, and simply said to the audience, the guy who raised the rent, I guess, has a right to do that, but and he sort of gives, a bad name to people. I think he should have just let it happen naturally, because, if there's 20 or 30 or 50 people vying for a particular rental unit, it's going to occur to, it should occur to one or two of them, hey, maybe I should up the ante and offer the guy more than he's asking. But for the guy to come out and say, yeah, I don't want to do it at this price that I advertised. I think I want more money. And, to sort of thin out the crowd of people who
Like
want
an
it.
auctioneer, kind of.
Something. So is that wrong? I don't think it's wrong. I don't think it's illegal. It's certainly not wrong or illegal, but I think it's pretty stupid. Okay? And that led to a discussion of rent control. And someone called, and I said, let the market be, the natural market. And I turned to Chris Spencer, who is in charge of the radio station, after Flight 1080 until about 10 o'clock every weeknight. And he was there last night, and he's a pretty level-headed guy, and he's really, really smart, and he comes up with great, thoughtful, bits and pieces of conversations that make a lot of sense. And he said to me, he said, MZ, it's a different thing from selling your property, during which it's quite frequent that there's a bidding war that happens. And it's very different from rentals, because people who are in the rental market are probably there because they can't afford to be an owner. They just don't have enough money, or they don't have enough income, or whatever. So the rules aren't quite the same. And I said, well, Chris, if you were the owner of a property right now and you decided to sell it, okay, and you advertised it for sale at a certain price, and you got a whole bunch of takers and a whole bunch of offers at that price, but then someone or more people came and said, hey, I'll give you more than that. I want the property so badly. Do you think you would be a bad person to sell it for more than you advertised it for? And I think the answer was no, but someone who was listening called in and said that I was wrong, that there is a difference in the rental market. You're dealing with a necessity. People need shelter, and so there should be different rules that apply to rentals. And that led, of course, to a discussion of rent control. And I remember back in the 80s when rent control for the city of Santa Cruz was attempted not one but 3 times, and each time it was voted on by the people, it went down to more startling defeat than it had the time before.
It's unbelievable.
I still don't understand that. But so it made me
It makes
think,
no
because
sense.
it was such a lively program last night, when we were talking about rent control and behavior of landlords and so forth, might it finally be time for rent control in Santa Cruz? Do you think, is that a possibility? Because a guy called, I
not.
forget the name of the guy, he called, he said, the owner of the station is wrong. I say let free market forces prevail in the rental market and in the real estate sales market and so forth. But this person,
How about the water market or the air market?
well,
You know,
you
that'll
can
be
argue that
coming right up.
anything that is a necessity of life, like, I guess you can argue in a temperate place like this, where it's not freezing and not snowy and everything, that people don't automatically have a right to a nice shelter that they might not be able to afford. I don't know. I'm not going to change. I don't think I'm going to change what I think. Let free markets do its thing without artificial controls. I've always been that kind of a person,
It's just
and I always will be.
It's unfortunate the way that kind of situation could spiral out of control. Somebody brought up the good point of a lot of these renters are backed by rich parents, shall we say.
Yeah, I brought that up.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, so I mean, you could have a situation where you have 5 or more parents going in on a place together, and it's just a bigger check
no
to
one
them.
does that I know of. What happens is
especially for
you have
college.
affluent people.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, no owner, no property owner in his or her right mind would ever sign a lease or a rental agreement.
What if
With-
they were
with-
offering
with
$1 million
one-
bucks?
No,
and,
no,
you
no,
know?
no, no. With more than one person being responsible for the rent. Let that one person make a deal with the others if the people are
Right,
going
right,
in.
well-
But much more likely in the real world, what happens is a parent or set of parents who are affluent, they go in on, and the really affluent ones just buy a property in a place like Santa Cruz or a place like Berkeley, and end up selling the property 2 or 3 or 4 years later, when for way higher profit. So the effect was that their kid lived rent free or better, or they made money on the deal. That's happened many, many times, and people who can afford to do that do that. All right, let's open the phone lines. 479. Oh, there's another thing. There's another possible topic. People are probably going to be less interested in this, but there is a new newspaper being. Have you ever heard? Can you imagine anybody starting a print newspaper in this day and age, with all the costs and everything? This is called the Bay City Beacon newspaper in San Francisco, and the producer and host of the Will and Willie show that we do occasionally here on KSCO. It's a really interesting program. His name is Paul Wells, and he invited me to a launch party, because I'm spending more and more time in San Francisco, and I want to sort of assimilate to that community so that we can bring the KSCO independent media experience up there, right? So Paul is including me in social things, and he says, hey, there's this new newspaper forming, MZ, you ought to come. And when he said it was at a restaurant and they're going to give me free food, hey, for sure I was going to go. There was no way I was going to stay away. In fact, I stayed in the city longer. I would have come down here much earlier in the day instead of wait late at night after the party was over. But I met a bunch of people who are all broke, but they're all very passionate about doing something to sort of watch what's, because there's no independent media left. It's all corporate media up there too, and I want to do something about that. Anyhow, that's another possible topic we can do on your Saturday special too, but today. So call us at 479-1080 or email me, mz at ksco.com. Let's see who's on first. Ken and Aptos. What about Billy Sunshine and Georgia? What is that? What you
I just think that is the perfect use, that old Pat Buchanan reference to him and Bill Press. What about Georgia and Billy doing a show?
You mean together? I mean a regular
Well,
show,
right.
or just meeting one time on the Saturday special or something? What are you talking about?
I'm talking totally about that. You had referenced Crossfire. What about Billy and Georgia doing a show in between her Wednesday and Friday show?
Again, would this be a one-shot deal or an ongoing thing where they're co-hosts?
I think it would be so ongoing and so draw in the audience because it would be perfect, right?
Because they're both A personalities who couldn't be more opposite politically, right?
You got to remember, the last time I called you, I had you singing Dave Hole songs from KHJ 1966, so I'm good, right?
What did I do? Or what did, huh?
You sang a song. I think you sang Message in the Bottle. No, I'm just kidding. Okay? Okay, here's the other thing that you have going for you that's so good. As a listener, I wake up every morning to Rosemary. She's perfect. Been doing it since the earthquake, right? Know her.
Well, it was a couple of years after the earthquake but I know what you're saying. Go ahead.
Okay. The second perfect thing is they're still doing the show. She's doing that. They do traffic reports. Is that not perfect, right?
Sure. I mean, it's good.
Okay.
We serve the community, and we're always looking for ways to better serve the community.
I know that. I want to celebrate that. But what you have in your corner, because I go back to KPPC in Pasadena, and this is, you're my same age. That's where Michael Harrington comes out of.
Michael Harrison?
Harrison, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, my good buddy who owns Talkers, the Bible of the talk radio industry. And I will be seeing him in New York first week in June. I always go to the Talkers thing, all things well here. I'll do that.
Okay, here's what we're throwing out. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
Why don't you come to Burning Man and do a simulcast? You have the
You know
skills.
what? If I could go like a gentleman,
I know. No,
I
you're
would
just
do
like
that.
me.
But
No,
I don't want to be filthy and stinky and dirty
stay there.
for a week. You know.
It's the exact opposite of that. I'm just throwing it out. Just look into.
So you're a burner guy?
only because I'm like your age. Only
How
for
many
like
of you? How many times have you gone?
Only 5 times.
Well, it's 5 times more than I have, but I came pretty close to it once. I wanted to go in on a nice RV with some people, but no one wanted to kick in the money, and I certainly wasn't going to do it myself.
We have the money, but you don't want to do that. You just want to be yourself there. And if I've always proposed this to Dave. Do you know how Fraser Smith? Do you know the name, Fraser Smith? That DJ?
No.
You do.
No, I don't.
You actually do.
I do? Okay.
Write this name down.
All right.
Fraser. He did an alternative broadcast of the Rose Parade. It defines talk FM radio.
Huh?
Fraser Smith. KS.
I'll if it's SMIT and FRA Z SIER or Z.
Fraser Smith. You don't know that name?
No, I really don't.
Okay, that's good. So let's work through that. But what this guy did, Dick Lane and all the homegirls put up the Rose Parade. KSLO put up an alternative broadcast. And I always go back to this. It's the best humor on the planet. I think David has it.
Dave Michaels? You're talking about?
Dave Michaels, definitely.
Is that who? Is there another one?
He wasn't there. I'm sorry?
You keep saying David would be great, and I thought you meant Dave Michaels.
David, I've invited David to come to the
David
Bronx.
who?
Huh?
David who?
You're David.
Dave Michaels.
Dave Michaels.
Okay,
right?
great.
The guy who's not in the garage, right?
Yeah.
Dude, like, you have to remember, I've been paying attention for 30 years.
You
Okay?
sure
So,
have.
Okay, so I think Michael Harrington has the answer. You are the most, okay, let me be sacred. And
We have to hurry up, Ken, because I got a
It's
whole
all right.
bunch of other callers, okay? Let's get to the point, please.
I am perfect with it.
Okay.
You get a shot at having one independent station on the planet, and you're there. You need to celebrate that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where you take it to. We don't know.
Well, we're going to try to take it to the San Francisco Bay Area. That's our next stop.
I know, but that's easy. I mean,
No, it might not so easy, but we'll see. Anyhow, thanks for calling the Saturday special. Our next caller is going to be Colonel T, presumably Colonel Terry, Sanctuary City.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen.
You sound like you have a terrible cold, Terry, and I want to keep this short in case I don't want to catch it.
Because he's got a phone in his throat.
It's morning wake up. Point is, you've jumped all over topics: Sanctuary City, freedom of speech.
I've put out some possible topics for the Saturday special. I'm trying to be at least a semi-professional talk show host for a change.
First of all, I'll address Sanctuary City stupidity. Call it Sanctuary City stupidity, and it is that. We cannot absorb all the third world's poverty because they've had more children than they can take care of.
Terry, you know, you're a smart guy, and I know that my communication skills are not optimal. But for God's sakes, let's not have a discussion of sanctuary cities. The topic is not sanctuary cities. I agree with you. We're on the same page. You and I are. The topic would be sanctuary cities Are they here to stay because of arrogant, defiant politicians and liberal judges who overturn President Trump's executive orders? That's
Do
the
not have to
topic
be
I'm
here.
talking about. I don't want to talk about sanctuary cities. I'm sick and tired of talking about that.
Here and now, in terms of free speech, what we have to do is respect the rules of logic, the scientific method, and informed, intelligent discussion, balanced by the facts. That's what.
As
that's
long as
what we
it's
should-
informed, intelligent discussion with some humor in it. Because if it doesn't have humor in it, people are going to be bored and tune out.
That is also
And
true.
we can't afford that.
That is also absolutely correct.
Okay, so
But we have to demand a dialogue where everybody gets to be heard in a balanced way.
we
And if-
demand a dialogue here at KSCO. That should
But-
become our new slogan. We demand a dialogue.
But if somebody says things that are clearly stupid and factually inaccurate, they get called out for it. You move to somebody who's going to provide facts with logic.
They get hung up on.
That's right.
Okay.
Facts with logic.
Okay. Thank you, Colonel Terry. Always a pleasure to hear from you. Here's Wendy in Bull.
Well, don't assume that just because we get hung up on it, usually with a nice thank you, it helps.
Oh,
'Cause
but
we understand,
thank you. Well, I did thank Terry, I think. I didn't. I meant I will now.
you know, we all have to understand it's radio, okay? We are, you know, how many, I think Flight 1080, Dave said 10,000 listeners?
Oh, at least on a short day, yeah.
Right. So, you know, I should be extraordinarily nervous. I can't even, as a musician or an artist, I can't even imagine working for that kind of crowd. And just because I'm sitting in my kitchen, you know, doesn't really change it. But we want a safe kitchen. You know, I'm thinking, you know, I have a 12-year-old. He's going to be looking at college soon. And I'm like, okay, if I had the infinite money, what would I want? I would want a dependable cell in a good monastery. I don't care about how rich it is, but I want it to be safe, you know, as pure as possible, maybe. But, you know, they're also going out into the real world. But we don't have a lot of safety standards on rentals because it's kind of the last resort of real estate. You know, it's usually purchased by someone, often corporations, run by management companies if you're lucky.
Right.
And since they're not trying to sell it, a lot of the building codes don't mean much because that really only affects mortgage opportunities. You know, you can buy cash for just about anything.
You can buy anything for enough cash, is what.
And if you can rent anything, you know, that's a really
All right.
dangerous
Should there
situation.
be different rules? Should there be rent control?
I'm a believer in if you have people who will pay, someone will want to take the money. But I want to make sure that, you know, a few bad apples don't spoil the pot for everybody.
So
we have
is the
we
app-
have
should I
kids
put
from all
that
over the
down-
world coming here.
Should I put that down as a yes?
I say I say building control. If I'm
Well,
going to
we-
rent it
we-
to
we-
you know, someone who's going to start suing our people here, give us a bad reputation, you know, just because you're on top at one time doesn't mean you can't be at the bottom again.
So again, should we have rent control here in Santa Cruz or city or
Not
county?
rent, no.
Okay.
You should have control over quality standards.
Well, that's called building code
Or
and zoning
no,
laws,
it
and we
isn't.
do
It
have
isn't.
those.
Nope. Look into that, please. I have looked very hard into it. Thank you. You do not have to have much at all if you are selling something, and building codes really only affect the people who care about them. Enforcement of building codes is very, you know, lenient. It's a way for the insurers of mortgages to have some idea of what they're buying.
Oh.
And if you want to buy cash for anything, have fun. It's yours, you know, whatever, you know. I mean, and I've seen some horrors that, you know, a sane person from somewhere other than Santa Cruz would never have believed.
A fool and his money are easily parted. My
Yes,
father
but I'm
used to
also
say.
living next to trees that are, you know, about 10 feet across.
Yeah, anyhow.
Someone from the plains of Colorado couldn't have even imagined. You know, talk about a thrill.
Do you own those trees?
No, I'm rent. I shouldn't say that. Don't give out much personal information. I
won't.
scold myself.
I won't. But if you were the owner of that property and you probably love those trees, but if for some reason you didn't love those trees, like it was shading too much of your property and you wanted to open, would you want to be prevented by the government from cutting down a tree on your own property?
Oh, you can cut it down. You can't sell it.
Oh.
It's called pruning.
Well, that's
You find something nice to do it on your own.
Pruning is not cutting down. It's not.
If I have 16 giant redwoods, I could use just one. I don't have control of it. I won't, do it. But you can also get a huge amount of light by taking them down. I'm figuring if you can figure out how to take some of these, middle-aged giants out of here, damn, you could sell them for $100,000. And unfortunately, but you have to keep the root ball. But you can take almost all the green matter off and most of the roots and stick it in the ground next to some, place in the valley, and they'll go, "Oh my gosh, we have a redwood tree." Yeah, I come from a place with no trees.
Well, thank you for calling and bringing and change and giving added dimension to our discussion. Thank you, Wendy. Here comes Tom in Santa Cruz about rent control. Hey, Tom, what do you think?
Morning, MZ. Rent control, really bad, because where we've seen it threatened, we've seen those rentals come off the property by either becoming condos or being sold.
Don't they have, in some places where they have really severe rent control, don't they have, as part of the, or as an adjunct to the rent control ordinance, they prevent you from
But what
selling.
I'm saying is, if it gained momentum, there would be wholesale conversion prior to that happening.
But what if they
And
said, no, you can't wholesale, you can't convert? All you can do is
Well,
continue to
you
own
wanna-
a
you wanna see the
money-losing
court-
proposition. I could see our
you wanna-
government doing that.
Yeah, but you want to see the courts just chock-a-block full of cases of that?
No,
Because a lot of people, I have a rental. It is part of my income. I have had the same tenants for 7 going on 8 years. We treat them well. But we still have to deal with the city of Santa Cruz, who has an inspection every year that we have to pay for, that we have to pay for the license for, and everything else. We're seriously considering selling that property, not as a rental, but as a single-family dwelling, and pulling
can't the
those
city
units
prevent
off
you
the
from
market.
doing that?
No.
Certainly,
not at
if
this time.
enough of you do that, there will be a backlash, and the city will at least, come up with an ordinance. It'll probably be declared
maybe in the city-
unconstitutional. In 1978, something like that happened.
Yeah.
I remember.
It would face severe things, and even in cities that have rent control, there's so many ways around it. I have the rent controlled unit in New York or in San Francisco. You're my friend. You move in. I keep paying the rent. It's just it's another shill, another sham, another way to get just a little bit more control, but not really to help our economy.
Yeah. Okay, so you absolutely not to any kind of rent control, according
Not
to
rent control.
Tom B. Right?
Yeah, I think we ought to look at ways of developing some more affordable housing. Don't control the rent. Figure out how to develop affordable housing.
Yes. Well, you allow a lot of it to go in, and then the forces of economics will take over. Okay,
so
Tom,
that-
thank you so much for calling 479-1080, and we have a couple of other people on the line. We have a number of lines open, so now is a good time to call if you want to talk about any of these topics or others. We're not necessarily restricting to these topics, but they are interesting things to talk about, I think. Jeff in Salinas, Sanctuary City.
Hi. Good morning.
Hey.
Yeah, I had heard Councilman McShane and Congressman Panetta address the sanctuary city issue and the concerns that are in their community.
Wow, your cell phone is cutting in and out, Jeff, so it's a useless call. You're going to have to get to a better place or call us on a landline. Okay, because we're getting every third word.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, call again from some other place. I'm sorry, it's not working. Aaron in Monterey, you're on.
Hey, I wanted to talk about making a great radio station greater, KSCO. My favorite radio station.
Well, that's nice, Aaron. Thank you.
I want to second the idea of Let's call it the Georgia Sunshine Show. At least one day a week. I would actually start listening to Georgia again if you replaced her show with Georgia Sunshine.
And you had stopped listening because...
Pretty much, yeah.
Why?
Oh, it's just boring, and I don't know. I mean, I say that.
Georgia
if
is
you're
boring?
listening,
Now
if you're listening, I
that's
love
the
her.
first time I've ever heard that.
It wasn't boring
I've
at
heard
first.
I've heard her characterized as hateful and a terrible, terrible human being, which is not true at all. I know Georgia, and she's anything but that. She's exactly the opposite. But I've never heard her characterized as boring.
Well,
Until
actually,
Aaron and Monterey came on the Saturday special today.
I did not say that, though. I said I became bored with her show. That's a very different thing in my mind.
It is? Oh.
Yes, she's not boring at all. I don't find anybody boring. But that's a different story. But her show, for me, has become boring. But I don't want to get too hung up on that. I just think that was a brilliant idea. I'm a little jealous the gentleman came up with it before me, because I'm always looking for ways to make the station that I love so much better, so I can love it more and come and listen to it all the time, like I did when I first found it.
How did you find us, by the way?
A good friend of mine, a real smart guy in Monterey, who would most people would think he's a liberal. He said, "You should listen to this guy." We were talking about things, Charlie Freeman, for two reasons: because of his music. You know, we're old Monterey bohemians. We love all the music, the jazz music. You know, that could be another show still. Again, I would love to see you make your content just richer all over the place. So Charlie's not boring.
Richer for older people, not richer for
no.
younger people.
Everyone, the things, I've told you this before, the things that everybody loves. You've got to zero in on that kind of stuff.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
You know, I'm with you, Aaron, but I don't see that there are such things that have a broad across the age demographics.
That might be your problem. That might be your problem. I'd
But I
encourage
don't
you to
see it,
look
or
at that.
or that it doesn't exist. I think it's because it doesn't exist. You know,
Anyhow.
24-year-olds are not interested in the same things that 64-year-olds, or even 54-year-olds, or even 44-year-olds. It's just it's a fact of life.
That's a generalization.
Yes, it's a fact of life.
Do you know what the concept like agelessness is, or timelessness?
I love
These
the
are
idea.
things-
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, these are things. Look, I have a '64 Impala I'm staring at right here. Everybody loves this car of every age, everywhere I go.
Will you bring it over here after the program and give me a ride in it?
Maybe. We'll put KSCO on the side, maybe.
Oh, absolutely!
You know?
Oh my God, let's do that.
Yeah, we need to get together, but I don't want to take up too much time. I just wanted to say, think about that. That would be great. We'll talk more about it. It's a great idea. It
Well,
just
look,
makes it so much more
I'm
lively.
here from 12 noon to 1 p.m. or next door to the station where my friend is building a nice addition to his studio. So I'll be real close to the station between 12 and 1 when someone who owns a bunch of smoke shops who in the Bay Area has expressed an interest in becoming our one or more of longevity outlets here, because we will be closing the Dave Cave. We don't know whether it's in a month or 6 months or whatever, but we will be closing the Dave Cave.
I heard.
And
I'm very interested in that too, in that idea.
We're going to be transferring. We're going to be, by doing so, we're going to make the sales volume, and hopefully a whole lot more sales volume of products. We're going to transfer that to other, more conveniently located to everyone in KSCO land to go and pick up themselves and build wonderful businesses for the business owners. And I've seen it happen over and over and over again. You get into the longevity business and you have the benefit of the promotion on KSCO that drives people there to your business, and they buy the products, and the next thing you know, one day you wake up and you're making more money from your longevity commission than from your main business. I've seen it happen.
And I see a benefit for everyone in that
It's
kind
a
of thing
win-win.
too.
It is.
My friends, I have a lot of friends here that have businesses that are hip. Number one, you should go, if you come to Monterey, to Acme Coffee. Resist corporate coffee. They've been blowing up for years down here. They can't stop people from coming in to get coffee. They roast. They're doing wholesale. But anyway, they know where all the hip businesses are. When people come in there, they see it. They talk. You gotta get into that, and it's the millennials on up. But also what they're doing there is what I'm telling you. Now is the time that the people are all coming together. You can't tell the difference between the hippies and the punk rockers and the old people. You know what I mean? And we're all coming together, and I think you should be the place. Bring back radio too.
Well, okay, good. Because radio. Hey, God forbid if we have a power outage or an earthquake or a fire or some storm or power outage. God help us if the internet is out.
And let me bring it back to the Georgia sunshine too,
okay.
Because again, people it's more exciting to have these guys talking it out and debating, getting a little crazy, than to have one person doing their rant over and over again that they have a limited audience. For Georgia, it's probably the conservatives in the Monterey Bay area.
Do you think either one of those would be a consent to doing it, either on a one-shot pilot basis or on an ongoing? Do you think either one of them would commit to that?
I think they might. I think they might, and I think they would be fools if they didn't. I love them both, but that's my opinion. That is exciting stuff. They're on their own. They're not. Billy, I can handle more because he's less. He's very left, but I don't know. There's something about him where he's not.
He's
so
very
stuck.
Explosive, and he says funny things.
And he's not stuck in his ideas necessarily.
And Georgia tells dirty jokes. I like that.
Yeah, and I don't want to, come down on Georgia too much. I love her. Like I said, we just have too much of different opinions, so I get bored, and it's the same kind of thing. One more idea before I go. This is a great one I came up with on my own. Colonel Terry, one show, it could be your show, we can see how it goes. We try to make Colonel Terry laugh, have a little fun, and lighten up.
Wow, I like that idea. And the
That's
person who could make him laugh wins a prize that's worth a lot of money.
It would be
he
a prize
is
in
so
itself.
intelligent, but he is pretty much humorless because he's so serious about everything.
Yeah, but I love it because we could, we could kind of use the topics and stuff or something, but try to somehow make him laugh and kind of have fun, have some more fun, because that's what we want to do here.
Idea, Aaron. That's the best idea I've heard.
All right, but I want to let some other people. I'm sure there's people that have great ideas and other topics.
Maybe Arthur in Prunedale. He wants to talk about rent control, or maybe Bob in Salinas wants to talk about the Brown tax hikes.
All right, we'll take it from Prune-tucky to the Salad Bowl.
Okay.
And I'll see you.
Thank
I'll see
you
on the
so much.
backside.
I want to take you up on your offer to put KSCO on your classic car, and I want to take you up on your offer to connect me with these hip people because I'm so unhip. I definitely need hip people to connect with.
There you go.
All right, thank you. See ya. Thanks for calling the Saturday special. Arthur! Hi, Arthur! In Prunedale, how are you?
Hey, MZ. Thank you for taking my call. I love
You're welcome.
the
You're
Saturday
welcome.
Special. Yeah, you're welcome, too. You're a landsman, my friend. Hey, listen. It was interesting, that last caller. I agree more with... I didn't call to talk about this, but I want to tell you, I agree more with you about the demographics. He thinks everybody's coming together. That's his perception. I like what you had to say about there's different demographics that like different programs. And I think one of your most loquacious and lovely hostesses is Georgia. I think she's got a great show. I'm a
She
big fan.
sure is.
So,
Yep.
so I'm going to throw that out there. I'm supporting her. I'm calling about the rent control.
Yeah.
I've lived in cities that have the rent control, and it's really just not a good thing. I want to tell you why. I graduated from college. My first job, I made a limited income. I didn't rush out and get married. I waited about 5 or 6 years till I established myself. And I wasn't making enough money to live in either Park Avenue or Beverly Hills or Pebble Beach. And I knew that. and I went and moved to an area that I could afford. Now, if you want to live in Santa Cruz or Pebble Beach
Okay.
or
Wait,
Beverly
we're going to have to
Hills-
hold you over, Arthur, if you don't mind, to the next hour, because this is KSCO Santa Cruz, Salinas, Monterey, San Jose, and here's the news. The clock is off. Damn it. There it is.
CBS News, I'm Bill Rakoff. Bad weather is pounding parts of the plains and the Midwest while President Trump celebrates 100 days of his term, and he calls it the most successful such period in American history. Others are beginning to differ.
The first 100 days have been a benchmark for presidents since Franklin Roosevelt promised a New Deal.
FDR and the 73rd Congress passed 15 major laws.
Donald Trump has yet to score a significant legislative victory. Mina Bose directs Hofstra University's Presidential Studies Center. She says the first 100 days of this presidency will be remembered more for the controversies.
Both the president's tweets, the conflicts with the White House press secretary.
On Twitter, Mr. Trump has called the 100-day milestone a ridiculous standard. Bose says he may have a point.
The Trump presidency is still very much a work in progress.
Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, the White House.
Well, as we mentioned, strong storms, heavy rains have been pounding parts of the Midwest from the plains on up to northern Illinois. Forrest Mitchell is with the National Weather Service in Oklahoma.
We've had scattered reports of hail up to golf ball size on portions of central Oklahoma. And we've had some widespread heavy rainfall, which has resulted in rapid rises in some of our area rivers and creeks, prompting issuance of river flood warnings.
And more of that severe weather expected from the Chicago area and points farther east a little bit later on today. It's been 25 years since the Rodney King riots in Los Angeles, and Mayor Eric Garcetti remembers.
I couldn't believe this city that I love, this kind of imperfect paradise called Los Angeles, where every day is 72 and sunny, and where it seemed like opportunity was endless, suddenly was erupting in flames. And it wasn't contained to one neighborhood. It was spreading to all sorts of parts of the city.
Dozens died in the rioting, which was sparked by the acquittal of 4 Los Angeles police officers in the beating of Rodney King. In Cairo today, Pope Francis celebrating Mass for Egyptian Catholics. CBS's Ann Matranga reports.
There were about 15,000 faithful gathered at a mass that was held in a stadium outside of Cairo. He delivered this pastoral message about holding on to hope despite despair. It was a message of fraternity and tolerance. And he hit once again on what is turning out to be the main theme of his visit here, which is religious tolerance and the condemnation of religious violence.
There's been another airline incident caught on tape. TMZ posting the video of a Delta Airlines pilot hitting one of 2 women he was trying to separate during a fight on a jetway at Atlanta's airport while passengers were trying to deplane. The airline out with a statement saying they investigated and the pilot is back on the job because his actions de-escalated the situation. An Ohio family got a surprise dinner guest last night, Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook founder, dining with the Moore family in Newton Falls near Youngstown. Zuckerberg had announced in January he would challenge himself to visit people in all 50 states. This is CBS News.
After all the sleep you cost your mom through the years, it's time to give it all back. I'm Scott Tannen, founder of Boll & Branch. This Mother's Day, give your mom the gift she deserves, great sleep on Boll & Branch sheets. Our sheets are handcrafted from 100% organic cotton. They get softer over time. We guarantee she'll love them. She can try them risk-free for 30 nights. Now through Mother's Day, get $50 off your first set plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com, promo code SLEEP. That's bollandbranch.com, promo code SLEEP.
Wouldn't it be great if you could stop crime before it happens? With the Ring Floodlight Cam, you can. I'm Jamie Siminoff, inventor and founder of Ring. Floodlight Cam is a motion-activated HD security camera that connects right to your phone, so you're alerted when anyone steps onto your property. You can now see, speak, or even sound an alarm right from your phone, anywhere, anytime. Does your floodlight prevent crime? Ours does. Check out our Ring of Security kits at ring.com/advantage. That's ring.com/advantage.
Good morning, it's KSCO Santa Cruz AM 1080 FM 1041 KSCO.com. Also streaming live on YouTube at the channel entitled KSCO Global. Check it out and give us a subscription, por favor. Check out the traffic and weather. Start off with weather. Sunny skies today, a high near 80 degrees here in Santa Cruz. Just like that, the next few days in a row, getting hotter and hotter through Wednesday. Starting to cool off after that, but sunny all the way out through next Friday, or this coming Friday. Your boaters forecast including a small craft advisory in effect on the bay through tonight on the Monterey Bay, along with northwest winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming west 15 to 25 knots in the afternoon. Wind waves 1 to 3 feet, increasing to 3 to 5 feet later this afternoon. West swells 5 to 7 feet at 11 seconds. Your traffic still looking pretty smooth out there. Highway 1 north to Santa Cruz, a little speed dip as you pass 41st. No surprise there, but none but a brief slowdown. 17 southbound heavy from Campbell to Los Gatos, and 101 dip in speed there as you approach Morgan Hill. Otherwise, things looking pretty darn good. No accidents out there on the Central Coast right now. Good job, guys. It's 11:05 at KSCO. You could come pick up a healthy start pack, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, Glucogel, and much more. 2300 Portola Drive. Dave Michaels in the cave. Good time to come down. Dave in the cave till 2. I'll be here the rest of the weekend. The time's approaching 11:06. Stand by later for a very special Perspectives episode with Dr. David Biles. He'll be interviewing the infamous Dr. Ken Redcross, world famous. But now it's time for hour 2 of MZ and his Saturday special.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Bolin Branch.
Oh, did you have to say that?
Promo code SLEEP.
Oh, God. I am going to lose my lunch from yesterday because I haven't had my lunch today. I haven't even had my breakfast today. Now, I'm going to forget, I'm sure to forget our hour 2 opener jingle if I don't do it right now.
Oh, hello, darling. I hate to hang up on you, but I'm sorry, baby, but I have to go. It's time for that wonderful record show. I'd love to visit, but you'll have to call back. KSCO has the inside track.
Even radio station owners like me have an ego too and have feelings, okay? I've heard people say they like this show. Do you think other people outside of KSCO would like this show?
I'm sorry, baby, but I really gotta go to KSCO Radio. Bye.
Nobody has ever asked me to host a national show. Now, thus far, my feelings haven't been hurt because I'm probably just not good enough to do that. And I could, it's okay.
But we got celebrities listening. I know that. George is a listener. Old.
You think he's listening now?
Wattenberg's a listener. His son is a listener. We know Alex Jones tunes in from time to time. They even talk about you on their shows.
But no one has ever invited me to fill in for them. Now that would be the ultimate honor. But maybe I
what
just
show
don't
would you host if you could?
I don't care. Just being asked
Uh-huh.
to sit in a chair that has a much bigger audience than this chair does. It would do immense positive stuff to my ego, which is it's just in the gutter right now. It's just so low.
Oh no.
Yeah, because we have such a special radio station here, and it's confined to this part of the world. So maybe it's not that special after all, or it would have gone viral by now. Maybe I ought to just forget the KSCO SF idea altogether. Maybe it's just a stinking pipe dream that ain't going to happen. On the other hand, if I do that, then it definitely won't happen. If I pursue it, even if it's a pipe dream, it might happen, right? So anyhow, do you think that there's something that's quirky and different about KSCO, and if people when they say they love the Saturday special and stuff like that, that's really nice. And it got me thinking: would normal people like the Saturday special, or only KSCO Monterey Bay Area type people? Not to imply that they're not normal, but they're different. We're all different here. Would you agree? Jason.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, let's go back to Arthur, because obviously this is going nowhere. Arthur, What were you saying when we had to cut for the news?
Oy vey. Hey, MZ.
Oy
You
vey?
Oy vey. You just inspired me.
Oy vey. I love that. That's one of my favorite expressions. And it's spelled
I know.
O-Y space V-A-Y?
You help me with that. I
Or
don't
is
know
it
the spelling.
V-E-Y? I think it's
you
Oy,
better-
O-Y, and then it's vey.
Yeah.
You remember that
Okay.
commercial we had on the first 2 or 3 years I had KSCO? It was in the early 90s, and it was for Stefan's Fine Jewelry in downtown Santa Cruz, and they had a Santa that said, Oi! That was a very memorable commercial, you know. A Jewish Santa that said "Oi."
Well, you know, you get your Hanukkah bush and you're all set.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
Hey, MZ, I want to ask you about the. You really inspired me. So why is it that no one's invited you to go national? Be honest with me. Why is that?
Well, logic would say I just don't have what it takes to be national. I'm not fishing for compliments. I don't want to believe that. I'd like to believe that I could do a good national show and could sit in for George, and people would say, hey, I like that MZ guy, you know? But I don't think that's going to happen because, well, George has the power to decide, but I think his other people have to approve it, you know? But I don't know for sure. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how that works.
So let me ask you this. Should national shows all be required to give you a shot? Should they be
Absolutely.
required?
Absolutely.
You believe that?
Yes,
You believe
absolutely.
that?
Nobody else, just me.
Okay, well, I know you're joking now. You can't require a network to give you a national spot. If you earn it, you can have it.
Well,
right?
Yes, but you asked me a question if I believe that, and if I was in
Okay.
if I was in control, if I were the king, I would and if I was the king, I would be the king of a place that doesn't have arrogant politicians and liberal judges to overturn my edicts.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Otherwise,
so,
it's a big waste of time. I mean, what like Trump or hate him, and I still think I like him. He's a bleeping waste of time, because everything he does that his opponents don't like is gonna be overturned, like his like his Muslim ban and like his what's the last, the sanctuary city thing, he's not going to be able to do any of the stuff that he says that he ran on. And I believe the guy is sincere. Although, did you see what came out yesterday? I mean, a lot of the people, a lot of the conspiracy people, including Alex Jones or his group, were talking about how Trump came out and said, he admitted that he was a globalist. He's both a nationalist and a globalist. What?
Wow.
How is that possible? You can't be both. You got to be
He's
one or
talking the
other.
talk.
It's like being sort of pregnant. You either are or you're not, right? So, so that upset a lot of people, especially a lot of people who voted for him on his anti-globalist agenda.
Pretty soon he'll be talking about the New
well,
World Order.
I think we got to give him a chance. We didn't elect a king. They offered George Washington a kingship, and he turned it down. We have 3 branches of government. The judiciary seems to be a little corrupt, too much leaning left, and so he's battling up against those left-wing judges. You got a lot of swamp people in the Congress, and they don't want any change. They want to keep riding the gravy train. So he's up against a lot of opposition. I expected that. Let's see what he can do. It's going to be better than Hillary. Please, it's going to be better than Hillary. But getting back to the rent control, let me change my question about the radio show around a little. Do you think everyone's entitled to drive a Tesla, a Mercedes, or a BMW? Do you think the government should require that everyone be given one of those cars? And no Fords, no Toyotas?
Of course not. That's absurd.
Okay. Okay, so why...
And of course I was kidding before. You know that. So.
I know. But I wanted to switch it because should should everyone be entitled to live in Santa Cruz or Beverly Hills or Pebble Beach? Should everyone be able to live there regardless of if they earned it? Or should you live where you've earned the right financially to live there? That's what I want to know.
Well, people who are members of the Lucky Sperm Club, to coin a term from The Art of the Deal that Donald Trump wrote and I read probably 35 years ago, people who are born into the Lucky Sperm Club, as he put it, automatically have a right to live wherever they're, wherever they're want to, if they're okay. But does everybody else? Hell no. You got to earn it.
Right, you got to earn it.
I've earned being able to live in San Francisco, which is the coolest place in the world and the most expensive city in the world. More so than New York, more so than London. And I'm just so cool I'm jazzed to be able, and this is not, God, I shouldn't even be talking.
Are you a part of the Lucky Sperm Club?
No.
No.
Well, a pretty Lucky Sperm Club, but not. I think what Trump was talking about in The Art of the Deal, Lucky Sperm Club being like someone born into great wealth. My parents weren't wealthy; they were affluent. They made it so that I didn't have to, my life was easy. They were the greatest parents you could have. But they weren't super wealthy or anything like that. I'm not super wealthy, but based on, I guess, the advantages that I was provided, if I didn't have those advantages, I might be a homeless person in the gutter now. Who I'll never know. But I did pick up. I'm not a person who just sits by. I like to be doing stuff. And one of the things I always wanted to do from the time I was a kid was have a talk radio station that did a good job serving the community as a forum, as a public forum. And I think and we, everybody here who's associated with KSCO, have done one hell of a job in doing that in a very successful way.
I agree with you. I think you're absolutely right on that.
Yeah.
100% agreement. But so should people be entitled to live in areas that they can't afford because they're beautiful
Absolutely
or they're near the
not.
ocean?
Absolutely
I
not.
agree. Okay. So you have to live where you've earned it. That's what it's all about. We can't be handing out entitlements to people to live in a beautiful area like Santa Cruz and force rent control on a property owner that he's going to, it's ridiculous. Earn it. You want it, go get it. Work for it.
Yep.
If it's selling longevity products, if it's selling your beautiful longevity products or whatever it is, you have to earn it. That's all I want to say, MZ.
The longevity thing is just a wonderful generic vehicle for people to get as independent as they want to. That's what's so amazing about that business. The products work. The message that Doc Wallach has been screaming for 40 years or more is a right-on message. It really could fix our screwed up healthcare system in this country. It really could if people would listen to him. More and more people are, because he's a tireless crusader who never gives up. And he chose the network marketing, friends telling friends, friends telling relatives, people putting things, getting at the top of the highest hill and screaming at the top of their lungs this message. And it works beautifully. And a lot of people don't like multi-level marketing because they remember the old Amway days where friends would lie to get you to go to an Amway opportunity meeting. Anytime there's deception involved, I run the other way, But there's nothing deceptive about longevity. It is what it is. It works. If you take the products religiously, you're going to feel better, and I believe you're going to live longer, although who could prove that, but you're going to feel better. There's no question about it. So anyhow, Arthur, thanks for calling. And what do you think about the sanctuary cities here? No, excuse me. The end of free speech because of concerns of violence. That's what I thought would be by far the most popular topic of the 3 or 4 that I suggested.
Okay, well, I have material on that for you.
I'm so disturbed by the fact that Ann Coulter. This is just the beginning. if the people who don't, if the thought police, people who don't like the way someone else thinks and wants to prevent that person from having the freedom to express that belief, all they need to do is riot or threaten to riot, which means that you have to hire more very expensive security and helicopters and everything. And then it becomes too expensive to have free speech. It came together. It just crystallized this week, and I was so depressed and continue to be depressed because of this Ann Coulter thing. I'm really, really, really sad, and I see now how this country is going to see the end of the First Amendment.
Oh, I disagree. I think you've got.
You have the
people-
floor. Please undepress me. I'm listening.
Okay, I want to undepress you. You know, people have been looking the other way, and partly because they've been deceived by the media and the media's manipulation of the news. Now, for example, this group that goes up to Berkeley and smashes the windows at Bank of America, they somehow get the little cuddly name Antifa. Antifa. They're the anti-fascists. They are the fascists. They're not the anti-fascists. But the media keeps calling them the Antifa. You've heard it, right?
Yeah, I have.
Well, okay. They're the anti-democracy fascists. They're not the
And
anti-fascists.
they won on this time, and what a win they scored. What a win they
In what
scored.
way?
Ann Coulter didn't speak.
Oh, yes. Okay, but look what's happening. You have the call going out. Kyle Chapman is one of the ringleaders of the pro-free speech people. You have the call going out for American patriots, be they retired policemen, be they independents, be they former military, to come and defend. The police won't do it because the mayors and the city councils in these sanctuary cities,
More
in these
things to
anti-democracy
depress
cities.
MZ. More things.
No, we didn't break away from England by just saying we wished we did. People had to fight and die for liberty. Didn't somebody say, give me liberty or give me death?
Yes.
You remember that?
Patrick
Okay.
Swayze said that. No, Patrick.
No, it wasn't
Patrick
Swayze.
Not
You know
Patrick.
who it was. You know who it was. I'll bet you. You know what's
Patrick,
funny?
what was his name?
Henry.
Patrick Henry. Yeah. Give me liberty or give me.
You know?
death. Yeah.
I'll bet you that I wonder if they're even teaching that in school.
Of course not. I don't think so.
You know, because it's becoming a socialist country. We're headed towards Venezuela.
I don't
like
think they're
existence.
teaching the Holocaust in schools anymore.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Isn't
Anyhow,
that
do you see
pathetic?
why I'm so depressed?
Well, don't be depressed. This should motivate you. Rise up, MZ. Raise the flag. Put more people on like Georgia and Charlie. You know, get the word out. Rebecca, you know, you're doing a great job, man. Don't be depressed. Be inspired.
Okay. Thank you, Arthur.
All right.
I
Hey,
will.
you're welcome.
I will try my best.
Okay.
And we really appreciate your call to 479-1080. And we have 2 other people, but that means we have 4 or 5 other free lines. Thank you, Arthur. Talk to you again. Here's Bob in Salinas about Brown tax hikes. Remember when his father was running for the second term, and someone came out with the slogan, "If it's brown, flush it."
I was about 8, 9, 10 years old when that happened.
That's about
12 years old,
that's
maybe.
about how old I was too. Anyhow, you want to talk about his tax hikes? That's going to, among other things, really sock it to us at the gas pumps, right?
Yeah, and not only that, I want to also tell you I had to go viral worldwide after. But
Okay.
on the subject of Jerry Brown, California's tax hike clown. He never makes the news unless he's raising his tax, and he paces himself so we don't catch on to him.
Wait, listen, not to be picky, but he made the news by standing up to President Trump and saying, we don't give a bleep that you're going to pull out funds, and by the way, you're not going to be allowed to pull out our funds. We are not only going to have sanctuary cities, but we are declaring California a sanctuary state. And I like Jerry Brown. I consider him a friend back from when he was a talk host here on KSCO. I haven't talked with him lately, but I'm going to, if I ever get a chance to, I'm going to let him know that I don't agree with him. I don't agree with it, that this should be a sanctuary state. And that doesn't make me racist.
But, Mike?
What?
It seems to me it's true that every time he makes the news, he's raising the tax. And to keep us from revolting against these, all he does is think of how to raise taxes. He paces himself so we won't catch on to it.
Yeah.
They'll wait 4 or 5 months, and then they'll raise another tax. Then they'll wait 4 or 5 months, then they'll raise another tax. And he's only doing one thing in his governorship. Is just raising taxes, and we could all stop that if we would just put his record up so that we can see it for what it is. We could stop this gas tax right now if we just said that to the world, look, here's Jerry Brown's tax hike record. It's crazy. We're going to stop this right now.
Okay,
anyway.
Let's do it.
Yeah, about going
I wish
viral.
we had more power than we do here at KSCO. I wish we could say, let's do it, and it would be done. But
I know how you guys could
what
go viral
happens
worldwide.
is that after the people listen to the Saturday special, they go back to sitting on the couch and belching and farting.
Yeah, people are the problem. You're absolutely right. People are the problem,
Including
with this
me.
world.
I'm probably going to go take a nap and belch and fart myself after the show is done.
But I'm just saying, if you guys want to go viral worldwide at KSCO, little old Santa Cruz here, all you got to do is give Steve Lightfoot 1 hour and let him expose the pants off of Stephen King and Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan for killing John Lennon.
Okay.
Why don't you do it?
Are you Stephen? Are you Stephen?
That's me. Stephen Lightfoot.
Stephen Lightfoot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now I have your phone number?
Yeah.
All right.
Now you're practicing censorship. You're practicing the anti-First Amendment.
No, I'm not. What you mean?
Yeah,
by
you
not,
are.
By not giving you a show?
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were going to say you're going to block me from now on. Okay, go ahead.
No. In fact, I shouldn't have said it to that guy I did say it to, because why would I want to block somebody? I should, if the guy's viciously attacking me, as he was, I should have just dealt with it instead of saying, ban that phone number from our system. But, so wait a minute. I thought that you're sort of someone who Are you really Steve Littlejohn? Are you really?
Stephen Mark Lightfoot.
I mean, I'm not
That's my
Littlejohn.
name.
No, I'm going to write it down. Okay, Stephen.
Stephen King guy.
Lightfoot.
Yeah.
Sounds Indian, but it's Scottish.
Okay. All right. Now wait a second here. All right. Here, I'm taking down the 3. All right. Okay. Now I have a phone number of someone who claims to be the John Lennon, Stephen King killed John Lennon.
Yeah, it's
guy.
him for sure.
It is?
Oh,
I'm sort of recognizing his voice a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And
Well,
plus
my teeth are compromised right now. I'm getting some work done.
have you called you've called lots of talk shows all over the country, right?
I've been on the radio 3,000 times in 20 years.
Okay. And so have you earned a rightful spot in the Guinness Book of World Records?
10% of America has heard about what I do, and that's making progress. I have helped certain people get elected president, like Trump, like Obama, like Clinton. That Clinton and Obama were mistakes, but I think Trump's a good thing. I have a lot of power.
Okay. Well, listen, if I want to take you up on your offer to go viral, and you know, of course, I hope you're right. And if you're not right, so what? I mean, it'll get something. It'll get something.
I'm confident I will prevail on this.
Okay, so what is it specifically you want? You want a 1 hour show about what did you say?
Well, I discovered, I want 1 hour to show the public and tell the public about what I discovered, how I discovered it. It was 35 years ago, and the obstacles I've had to breaking the news because people are basically jealous of the messenger. That's always been the case ever since Jesus says no town will honor his prophet. I want to tell the whole everything about this story, about the codes I found in Time and Newsweek, about Stephen King's Nagging Face, what he writes about, what Nixon's book talks about killing John Lennon, sitting next to Reagan the day of the murder in Time and Newsweek under funny headlines, the whole everything. And it'll go viral, believe me. It'll go worldwide. We'll have Stephen King in handcuffs before the year is out.
Can we have Stephen King be on with you on the phone?
I have stood 3 inches away from him. I'm not afraid to stand 3 inches away from him again.
You wouldn't have to, but do you think he would participate? We'd have him on the phone.
No,
and we'd have you here at the station. Or on the
As a
phone,
matter
whatever
of-
you want.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, one of his best friends in Bangor, Maine, who confided in me, I was given this Pollyanna kind of yarn about how even if he gets thrown in jail, I'm going to redeem him by letting him come on TV and do skits with me. And then he interrupts me and he goes, he's afraid he's going to get fried.
Now, wait a minute.
So that's what Stephen King is afraid of. He's afraid he's going to get fried.
Since we're talking about this now, and I'm fascinated. I don't, if you were to, do like you normally do, you come on like a very, plausible, intelligent caller.
And then switch gears,
And
yeah.
then you switch gears, and that makes people say, oh, he got me again, and hang up on you. If you would have done that, I don't know whether I would have hung up on you like all the others, or if I would have engaged you like we're doing now. But here's what I want to know. What about Mark David Chapman?
That is an excellent question. I even don't know where he really is, but I suspect he's living with his parents under witness protection. I suspect he was only in jail to fool people, and he spent 90% of his time away from jail.
But people saw him kill John Lennon. So
No, they saw Stephen King kill John Lennon. They look almost identical. The police
Wait a
were in
minute,
on the
Mark
plot.
David Chapman isn't in a wheelchair all contorted? They don't look at all...
No, you're thinking
talking
of
about Hinckley.
No, he's thinking of the other guy.
You're talking about the guy who shot Brady.
No, you're thinking about the space expert and stuff.
You're talking
right?
about John Hinckley. I'm talking about Mark David Chapman. Mark David Chapman was never put on trial. Mark David Chapman shot John Lennon. He was whisked away for a 60-day psychiatric evaluation, which never took place. And then he pled guilty behind closed doors in a closed meeting, no media allowed. And it made page 15 in a little 3-inch clipping. I knew it was a lie when I saw it. So about a month or two later, I stumbled onto evidence. Not even looking for evidence. I stumbled onto CIA codes in Time and Newsweek. And
MZ, you're thinking of Stephen Hawking.
Oh, okay.
Stephen Hawking.
All right.
He's talking about Stephen King,
Oh,
the
okay,
author.
now I feel like the fool I am. Okay, what else is new? Jeez. Well, thank you for bringing that up, Jason.
You're welcome.
Anyhow, Bob in Salinas, a.k.a. Stephen who is it? Stephen? I got to write
Mark
down your
Lightfoot.
Lightfoot.
Lightfoot. Okay, now I have it. And I have your phone number, which presumably is unlisted.
Well, probably,
You don't want
yeah.
people knowing your phone number, do you?
Well, I mean, not everybody. Certain people.
Okay, but I'm okay with you knowing it, right?
Yeah. Hey, you got to make breaks, and you got to make your breaks where you can, and you got to take chances in this world. You have my number.
Well, what kind of a chance would it be to put you on, with to say what you know and let you interact with people, which you never or rarely get to do?
Yeah, I've only done it a couple times. Morton Downey Jr. Put me on for 3 days in a row, 50 minutes a day. And 3 weeks later, Richard Nixon died of a stroke. I mean, that's the kind of power this story has.
Wow. Okay, how can I thank you for calling today?
Well, set me up for an hour, and we'll do an hour sometime.
Okay, good. I like that idea. What's the worst thing that could happen?
We should get Mark David Chapman on.
People would.
Did you hear what
laugh
you didn't?
at-
You didn't hear what he said. He says we should get Mark David Chapman on that program.
On this program.
Mark David Chapman. Mark David Chapman belongs in jail with Stephen King for a conspiracy plot, along with Yoko Ono. I found out no evidence on Yoko, but she is involved. That's
But
quite a
no
story.
evidence. But she is involved.
I don't think we could get Yoko Ono. I don't think we could get
No.
Mark David Chapman, but we could try. It doesn't hurt to try. The worst thing they could do is say no. They're not going to hit us or kill us, I don't think.
It's the biggest news since, in 2,000 years, basically.
Okay. I'm happy you called, and I'm happy you let us know that you really are who you are.
And I'm just sorry my teeth are compromised right now, but I'll be fixed soon.
Well, we don't have to have the video on, but it would be nice.
There
be
you
able
go.
To. It would be nice to be able to. All right.
Even now I can talk to half a mouthful of teeth.
Thank you, Bob. I mean, Stephen. Okay, you take
Yeah.
care. Thanks
Thanks.
for calling 479-1080. Here's our good buddy Rory in Watsonville who says go for it. Go for what?
Yes. Go for expanding your radio reach, your footprint. Go to the Bay Area and go out from there. And,
well, I would be
I
more
like-
than happy to, for free, program any one of the license programs that radio licensed AM or FM stations up there in the Bay Area that are all losing money. They're all going down the toilet financially.
Well, you never pay top dollar. Catch them when they're at the bottom and
No,
make a deal.
I don't want to, because even if they're at the bottom now, what
Well,
seems like an incredible deal today will turn out to have been a ripoff 6 months from now.
all right. Make a pitch to one of the owners. Say, hey, look, you're losing money. You got
No.
nothing to lose.
Right.
No,
Okay.
not to buy. License your programming and say, we'll do your programming. You take our feed for a modest fee. Pitch the middle.
Well, the fee would be they'd sign up in Longevity under us, and they
Amen.
would make
There-
more
hey.
they would make more
Oh,
money
my
than us,
gosh.
because that's the way
Oh, my
that's the way
gosh.
the Longevity thing works.
Michael.
Hey,
there-
listen. If you look at Lieberman's blog, we have half the masthead
Yeah.
there, 415 Media, and for the
Yep.
last 2 or 3 weeks, that we've used that whole valuable real estate that's looked at by 50,000 people a day or something like that.
Sure.
And we've used it to congratulate KGO, our competitor. We congratulate, and I'm dead serious about this. We congratulated KGO for bringing Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie back to the Bay Area, where it's been absent for 2 or 3 years. And it was a very, very smart. Now, why would a competitor, because we have George on our station on Coast to Coast, why would a competitor, congratulate publicly another radio station, a much bigger, signal? I'm not sure I don't think they have more of an audience than we do. I think they had a way bigger audience until they screwed up and killed the goose that laid the golden egg back in December of 2011. But
you
they
want
still
this.
have 1,000 times the signal that we do, on their AM 10,
So
AM
answer the
810.
question.
So
Why?
What is it? Why what?
I don't have an answer. What's the answer to your question?
Of
Why
what?
would you congratulate a competitor?
Oh, yeah, thank you for because we have an arrangement with George and Coast to Coast, and their parent company has a business relationship with us. It's called criticalhealthnews.com.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yes, there you go.
And if
There you
and
go.
if and
So-
if they want to be part of that, I believe they'll make more money just from commissions and doing a lot of good by turning people on to these great health products that it'll make it so that who needs Obamacare or Trump care or anything?
Amen. Let's
You
put those
understand
guys
what
out
I'm
of
saying
business.
here?
Yeah, Michael, I believe it. Put them out of business for lack of patience. They just don't show up, and those doctors hear what's going on, and they become distributors, and people start getting healthy.
Yeah.
Come on, that's the way to go. Absolutely. So expand. Do licensing agreements with stations about to go belly up and say,
Yeah,
hey, you
and
got
I don't
nothing to
need
lose.
any money from it. We want to show
Well,
them how to
you'll
make
get
money.
some.
We'll get some.
Yeah,
We'd be in the upline if we monetize it with Longevity like we've done here.
Do it.
It's no secret, and people know there would be no KSCO if there weren't the money that comes from Longevity.
Then
Period.
for it.
End
And
of
don't-
story. You want to
Yeah.
help KSCO and help yourself get healthy and hopefully live longer? Buy products and make it part of your life. It's as simple
You
as
will.
that.
And
you
Michael,
know, yeah,
don't
you've
forget-
been. It's been part of your life for 20 years.
Absolutely. I told you, I remember where I was when I first heard Wallach slip in and sit in for DAG.
Uh-huh.
I know exactly where I was. It made so much sense. And I'm not going to go in here on testimonials, but I know plenty of people that have got better, 100% better, just by getting nutrition And Fuchs, what an amazing guy. Expand his footprint. Just do it. Pitch these guys.
Can
and
you
listen, you're
imagine?
selling-
Farmers'
Wait
Ben
a
is
minute,
making noises about spending maybe half time in the San Francisco and Santa Cruz Bay,
I love
Bay
it.
areas.
I love it. Listen, go to these stations. You know these people. Say, look, here's our model. We're succeeding. What do you got to lose? Let's do it. Work a deal. Say you're going to go out of business. You're going to sell this thing at a loss. Come on.
You don't talk that way to them because.
Well,
it
no,
just
you
sounds
don't.
like
But
you're-
you convey. Well, you convey the message, I guess. Do it diplomatically, Michael. I'm not like me. Come on. But anyway, so I say go for it. The other thing is, look what happened in the Bay Area yesterday, or no, Thursday. They were, when Coulter was supposed to speak, she pulled out. Look, the little black-clad commie anarchists, which is what they are, wussed out.
with masks.
They
yeah.
They wussed out. They had a can of whoop-ass opened up on them 2 weeks ago, and they got the message. And the patriots, just regular people, showed up, ready to defend free speech, and they did it. And none of those punks, and that's what they are, showed up. So we won that battle.
No. I'd love to agree with you, Rory. I love you, but
Ann
I
Coulter's
can't.
one guy. Hey,
Ann Coulter
one
did
voice.
not speak. That says it
she's
all.
One voice. She's one voice. There's plenty of other people. Come on, you go with your.
I'm afraid that the same thing will happen with everybody else.
No, it
because
won't. It will
they
not.
figured
It's not
out
gonna
a way to do it, to
Nah,
create
they're pussies.
fear of violence, and a fear of violence means you have to have a lot more money to hire more police and so forth. And no one's going to have that kind of money, so they're going to lose all their sponsors.
Nah.
Just
they're
like Ann
bluffers.
Coulter did. Come on.
They're bluffers. They're wussies. I'll use that more mild term.
Do you
They
think
got
that
their-
we? Jason, did you find that Ann Coulter thing with me? With me.
Actually,
and her?
the
You get too
MZ
busy?
archive is missing.
The what?
I can only get back to 2013 right now. The old archive of all the old shows is
Too much
not
there,
there
Michael.
right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it's
What
moved
happened?
to. Jonty, if you're listening, can you call me?
Yeah. Okay.
What happened?
When you can.
I don't know what happened, but this is terrible. Maybe I have it on my iPhone here. Should I look?
Well, looking, I'll make the last couple of comments so it won't be dead air. I say
Okay.
bring free speech. Whoever's willing to go to the front line, citizen patriots will be there to show these commie punks, as the Brits would say, show them the whip hand, okay? It's sorry it came to that. Like the earlier guy said, when it came time for us to break away from the Brits, we didn't just send them a nice letter and they said, okay, break away. Thank you. King, sincerely King George III. No, you had to fight for it. So the other thing is, I love one of your callers, I think it's a guy in Monterey, I would love a Sunshine Billy or Billy Sunshine with Georgia. I think that would be awesome. I think you get some real debate going if
Do you
if,
think
they would
I'm not
eschew
sure
the
if
ad
one
hominem.
of them would agree to do it, the other would be chicken bleep. That's what I predict.
Nah.
But let's
Well, do
ask
one-
Billy
do a
because he's
pilot.
here. Billy, do you say yes or
Do a
no to
pilot.
that?
Oh boy.
Do a pilot, Billy. Come on.
Are you
It's
the one
too dangerous.
who's going to be the chicken bleep?
Yeah, probably. I think it's too dangerous. I think you have to
Nah,
respect
come on,
someone to debate them.
Billy, just do it without the ad hominem. Stick to the ideas, and you'll be fine.
I don't know. My point is I can't control myself. I don't believe that I'd be able to spend an entire hour with Georgia and be respectful. And I think that's what people would want from me, and I don't think I have the ability.
Because you're not capable of being respectful.
Well, you should.
I'm not capable of respecting certain kinds of. I'm not capable of respecting certain sorts of utterances. Yes.
Well,
Yeah, the whole white thing, the whole white Holocaust thing is so disgusting to me, so anti-Semitic, and it's
Billy,
it's grounding.
Let me say something. My grandfather's cousin was an Italian diplomat in Salonika, Greece. Okay, in 1943, he put his life on the line, falsifying birth records, passports, to turn Jews that were trying to get out of Greece into non-Jews. A Catholic bishop falsified baptismal records, and they got over 500 people out of Salonika. They got them to Athens because the Italians controlled Athens and they could get out. Okay, that's my background. Okay,
Thank you.
He was, well, thank God for his courage. You know, he was a courageous guy.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'm proud of him. But I want to say, and his name was Giuseppe Castruccio. But anyway, there is an anti-white movement. There's no question about it. I, as a white male, no fault of my own, okay? My ancestors left Italy when they could only eat meat twice a year, Christmas and Easter, because that's all the money they had. They came to California legally in the mid-1800s. They worked their butts off. No privilege, no whatever the term is, the privileged sperm or whatever the hell that term was, okay? No fault of my own. This is my heritage. But I'm a bad guy because my ancestry is European. That's bullcrap. So I will stand against that. And it is happening at different levels. It's never the same way. They're not marching people in the oven, but it's an attitude. So that's what Georgia's talking about. I know it because I've talked to her about it. Okay, that's the issue. And you got to look at it objectively, step away from your biases and say, okay, what's going on?
Well,
let's look at this.
Sorry, Rory, and sorry, Aaron in Monterey. Billy Sunshine will not be participating, and he has to in order
All right, well,
for
give it a
this to
chance,
happen.
Billy. Give it a chance.
I'm willing. Look, if I can be indemnified from whatever language falls out of my face, if someone will be ready with the 7-second delay, if Georgia really wants to do it, then I won't say
I
no.
don't think she wants to at all. If you're willing
Oh,
to
there
do
you
it,
go.
I think she'll say no. But I don't
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
Michael.
If she's
I think
listening,
she'd
maybe
do it.
she'll call.
Yeah. What about it, Georgia? Give it a chance. Hey, now
Georgia
one other
is
thing.
Very, very busy on weekends, you know.
Yes.
So she might.
I
There's a
would-
good chance she's not listening.
And then I'll say this, and I'll go because I know you got other callers. But I love the idea of a contest to see who can get Colonel Terry to laugh. I think that's a great contest. You got to give away a canister of BTT to the winner.
How about making
What are you talking
Colonel
about?
Terry?
We should give away a Tesla. You
How
know?
about making Colonel Terry cry?
No,
He's
he's
making
pretty
Colonel
tough.
Terry cry.
He's already crying, just like I'm ready to. You know, I'm so
Hey,
depressed.
Billy, did you hear my Friday joke yesterday?
What was it?
What's the national tree of Israel?
Oh yes. Go ahead.
You clipped us.
You clipped us. Yes. Yes.
You clipped us.
By the way, one
That's
just
what-
clipped my house. Eucalyptus tree fell on my house a few weeks ago, so I could literally
No
say
way.
eucalyptus.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! Did it do damage?
Just my hot tub, really, and some trees.
Okay.
It
See,
missed my
yeah,
house
this
by
was-
3 feet.
Yeah, this was the year.
I think things like I shouldn't laugh. I should be humorless when it comes to perpetuating the Jews are cheap type thing. But one of my favorite jokes remains. How was copper wire invented?
I love that.
Two Jews fighting over a penny. So,
It is a good joke. It is a good joke.
Hey,
It is.
I remember your dad's joke specials, Michael. Those were unbelievable. You got to run one again just for old time's sake.
we
I mean,
did
that
4
was
of them
huge
with
fun.
Jack Muth and my dad. Yeah.
Oh,
in
my gosh, those guys.
1997. They were great.
Wow. Well, anyway, gentlemen, have a great weekend. Keep it up, Michael. Expand the footprint. Get the mineral vitamin info out there. Promote Fuchs, Wallach.
And
you've
all our
got
wonderful talent, you know.
Yeah,
so-
and you got Jason. Jason could run one of your divisions. Come on, he's smart.
He's a really, really
Don't- I
smart
mean, he's ready to
boy,
roll.
despite what everybody says.
Yeah, he's ready to roll.
No one says anything.
Let him expand his skill set and participate in the bounty.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you,
guys be
Rory
well.
and
Bye now.
Watsonville, and thank you, Billy Sunshine. By the way,
Hang on.
Oh, okay,
I
you
called
for
for
some
a
other
reason.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. A couple of things. First of all, I don't think KGO is using its 50,000 watts. I can't get them clearly at all, like I used to be able to.
Well,
I think when they
isn't that
got rid of all
interesting?
their talk show hosts, they cheaped out on the wattage too.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know whether you've noticed it. It's either that or you're just over amping, and so I can't get anything.
No,
but I don't think
we're
so.
not
Not down at
doing that.
810. You're not doing anything to 810, so
No, of
that's
course
not it.
not. Yeah.
Yeah. But now, a lot of people, want to hear me. I wonder why I'm only on 1 day a week.
Why weren't you on yesterday? I thought yesterday was Friday.
I'm not on. I think
Oh,
we're
you're
the
on
only one to
Wednesday.
be on 1 day a week.
Oh,
I'm on Wednesdays.
They're all the same to Billy.
But don't you think we should add a day?
Listen, Rosie is our program director. And
No, I think so. Of
can't.
course,
I can't.
Rosie's in
I
charge.
can't. I can't. It's. I'm not gonna pull rank. I just don't.
No,
do
no,
that.
you're not supposed to tell Rosie what to do. I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting you just remind Rosie that since she may not listen to your Saturday special, how many people have my name on the tip of their tongue? That there probably would be
That
good
people love
for the
to hate.
station to
They
have
love
more.
to hate you. It's true.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. You know, we were having that conversation the other day, and then the next day, someone called up and said, "I love hating Billy Sunshine."
Pretty good. Well,
Yeah,
listen,
yeah.
I if it works, let's, I mean, and you have the time, although you do take time off from your unpaid job from time to time because you need to. You
yes,
have
I
other
do.
things happening in your life, right? So,
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a wife, and I have retirement to worry about. But anyway, I would love to pick up one more day a week if that's something that Rosie thinks would be acceptable. But she has to be willing to take those phone calls from those crazy conservatives who want me off the air, and I know
they
that
want
must
you
get tiring
censored
for her.
totally, huh?
Don't you already come on every day?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he can't hear you because he's on through the. Jason says, "Don't you come on every day, one way or another?"
Not every day, but
You're such a fun
again,
caller. No one bans you.
that's
from
it.
Call. You
No, that's how I got
you're
started
not.
after
You're
all.
not. You're apparently not subject to the one caller per week rule or one caller. What is it?
We
What
had
is
to
the
give
rule?
that up.
Oh,
there is no rule.
because
There
we
is
were
no rule.
getting no calls. All right, listen.
Yeah,
Thank you
exactly.
for calling. I want to get to
You
everybody
bet.
who's here. Thank you. Here's the
Bye-bye.
next caller, and it's none other than Gary in Santa Cruz.
Mike, how are you?
Hi, Gary in Santa Cruz. You want to talk about free speech idiocy?
Well, while I was waiting, I was sitting on my couch farting and belching, so I fit in that program.
Okay.
Anyway, I wanted to talk about Jerry Brown and his lack of silence on the Berkeley situation there. Do we have the sound of crickets anywhere?
His lack of
I mean,
silence, or you mean his deafening silence? What are you talking about?
Yes, deafening. I
Okay,
mean,
yeah, not lack of silence. You mean the opposite, I think.
yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, no, just not saying a word about it is ridiculous. Now, as far as Intifada, if you look into, Google it, you will find out that there's information. George Soros is backing this with money. They are being paid and busing people to locations across the U.S., and Obama is handling this from a location in Washington, D.C.
I believe
as a
it.
community organizer.
You know, God, he made all his money in arbitrage or currency manipulation or whatever. But if I was that rich, I would love to to divert the money for good things, not 100% evil things, which is what this guy seems to do.
Oh, George Soros is I mean, people said Obama was the Antichrist. I think George Soros may be. I don't believe Obama is, but he is certainly has been all his life a community organizer, and he is still doing it, I believe. Hey, don't take my word for it. Just Google online, Intifada, George Soros, and look into that. And I hope that Trump will put the Justice Department on all these sanctuary cities, counties, and states in some way, block their funding, and prosecute them beyond the fullest extent of the law.
That's what I think too. That's what I would like too, but the liberal judges are going to overturn everything that he does every step of the way. It's already
Well, they're going to they're handpicked. Of course, the Ninth Circus Court of Slamiels are the most overturned court, and eventually they'll get to the Supreme Court. But in the meantime, I think he can still hold back money, and I would hold back money from any county or city or
Hasn't
state.
a judge just said you can't do that?
I don't care what they said. I would do it anyway because it's unconstitutional what he's saying. That's ridiculous. The judge should be taken out in an alley and put in a blanket. I mean, this is getting ridiculous.
But these are the kinds of things that they could use to shut down talk radio because they say you're advocating killing a judge. You weren't really doing that, were you? You were just
No, I didn't say killing a judge. I wouldn't say that.
He wants him to take a nap.
But I mean, certainly we have judges who are willing to do anything.
When you said put him in a blanket, you mean that he should take a nap, right? The judge, right?
Oh yeah.
You didn't mean like, end the life and. Let's move on. Hey, thank you very much for calling the Saturday special, Gary in Santa Cruz. Okay, here is Rich in Sal, who has 3 subjects.
Well, it's too bad that Billy doesn't want to do this because I thought of a good name. It's called Mrs. G and Mr. B, the grudge match.
Okay. Now it says you have 3 subjects. Real quick, because we have 3 other callers.
Next one is follow Mr. Z. You got a hat cam, a car cam, a home cam, a travel cam. We follow you all over the place. We'll just follow you on the cam, wherever you go, whatever you do. How's that? Your own program like that.
I would love it if I had more energy. If I was 21 or 31, I would love to do that. But I don't think people would find me very exciting because I'm acting like an old person now.
Oh, okay. Well, we could try it.
But at least I'm being honest. I'm an honest old person.
The next thing is, you said you had some smoke shops they're going to put the nutrition products in?
Well, we're having discussions. That's all.
So you can get your
and I think it's looking good. Yeah, because people feel guilty that they smoke, and now they figure, hey, well, I could do something good for my body while I'm here.
Okay, and then the last thing real quick is Dave Michaels. I heard part of that program yesterday. Dave Michaels, what he ought to do is work with the California University system and do a public-private partnership to get low-income rent, because they have $175 million slush fund that they've been hiding. They can use that money to subsidize the rent for all the people going to the school there.
Okay, I think Dave is listening unless he has a customer. Thank you for calling the Saturday special, Rich. Okay, here's Tony in Live Oak. Tony, quick.
Yes, hi, MZ.
Hi.
Quick, I want to answer the question that you asked at the first part of the show. Yes, keep that opening thing. I think I discovered age-related thrills because I didn't think to ask a question. Why did you think to ask a question whether people would accept that? It's a fantastic thing. And I wanted to say about Humble Brian.
I had nothing else to say at the time, so that's what came out of my mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's wonderful stuff. Anyway, Humble Brian sang and performed on his 12-string on his last show, and I was blown away. I mean, I guess one person was watching out of the 14 listening, and they all missed it.
You don't want to call him Humble Brian without finishing the rest of his name. It's Humble Brian.
Saint Humble?
No, it's Humble Brian the Great.
Oh, all right. Well, he is the greatest. He was the best professional singer I'd seen in a long time, wailing away on his 12-string and singing a song. I don't know if it was his song, but he sure made it his own. It was into his entire body. He was, dancing around and playing at the same time.
I'll have to tune in. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's back in L.A., but he's going to turn around and head back, he told me. Okay, so thank you for calling, Tony. Here's Art and Salinas. Hey, Art, you're on.
Hey, MZ, good show. Just calling in. That's great how you delegate the duties to Rosie like that for all the decisions. That's what a boss is supposed to do, an owner, That's what I asked. Anyhow, I think you got a sleeper in Chris Spencer and Susan Simon. That would, if everybody could maybe take a stick.
No, it's not Susan Simon. It's Susan Simon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Got me. Okay, anyhow, those two together would be good. Like if the other shows could maybe take a sick day once in a while, because the redundancy of the shows lately, it's of course it's going to be redundant because they have a program and they're on always at the same time every day of the certain week. But it does get a little monotonous sometimes. All the shows. I hate to say it.
Thank you for suggesting that. Thank you for. We'll put that down. Make a note, please, Jason, because.
Rosie.
Thank you so much, Art. We got to take the call from Jimmy and Ben Lomond. Jimmy, you're on. Hey.
Hi. I listen to the programs almost all the time.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and I appreciate most of the stuff. Mr. Zwirling, I appreciate you, but I don't appreciate this Billy Sunshine. He's like some bum off the street, and I don't know why you let him talk on your radio station.
Because we're a voice for everyone, even bums off the street, which I happen to know he isn't. I know you said he sounds like that, but he's not. He's anything but a bum.
Well, his education doesn't shine through.
Okay.
You know, and he's always down in the ditch. He's always got mud on him. He's like, and he'll speak up for the Jews when they don't need to be spoken for. I think if I was a Jewish person, I would be offended by this guy.
Okay, well, let's have Susan, Simon, and Chris Spencer fill in once in a while. That's the message here. All right, thank you so much. We're coming to the end of the program.
And
Oh my God!
Another guy called and said that we're inciting violence against somebody.
Who?
Nobody. That's who.
KSCO Santa Cruz, Salinas, Monterey, San Jose. It's 12 noon. Here's CBS News.
I'm Bill Rakoff. President Trump says he's proud of the accomplishments of his first 100 days in office.
Since my inauguration, economic confidence has soared, reaching higher than any time in 9 years. Optimism among manufacturers is at a record high, and small business confidence has seen its largest